Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Jonathan,
Nick.
and we are the Gosslings. And we'll go ahead and do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah?
I'll start this time.
Yeah, go for it.
Take up the broken sword of your father.
And strike down the darkness. So good when it hits your lips. What is it?
It doesn't burn the lips, but it
Fires the soul.
It does. It livens the back of the tongue. This is Basil Hayden. Yeah, a lot of people are familiar with good old Basil Hayden. This is the whiskey in Deadwood that they keep talking about.
Is it real?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes. Deadwood fans will know Basil Hayden. This is of course, product placement.
Don, if you're watching, Basil Hayden.
Basil Hayden.
Deadwood. I told Don is he's the one who I worked with him when I was doing security, and he's the one who turned me on to Deadwood.
Okay.
So, and I told him, I was like, I got Nick on to Deadwood.
Oh, dude, I'm in.
And he was like,
I'm into Deadwood
dude,
now.
it's so great. Yeah.
Deadwood's the base.
They're super cool, man. They're a real sweet family. They've always been far kinder to me than I deserve, and they have two kids, a son and a daughter, both of whom are in the Army. So cool. I got to see them. Earlier today. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, anyways, what do you want to talk about?
Oh man, Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas week.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I worked probably far more than I should, and then saw family. And that was and I helped a buddy of mine move his elliptical upstairs.
Oh, so, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. You know who you are. He's watching this like, yeah, whatever. Click. Whatever. So, what about you?
We did Christmas Eve at Rihanna's brother's house.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law, and we stayed the night there.
Yeah.
And then Christmas morning there. Yeah. And then came home and did Christmas here.
Yeah.
And they live about an hour and a half away. That's not, just over an hour away.
Hour and change. Yeah.
An hour and change.
And then we had a communications blackout.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
We're in Nashville.
Yeah.
And Christmas week 2020 in Nashville, Christmas Day 2020 in Nashville has been quite eventful.
Yep. Merry Christmas, Adam. Adam, if you don't hear from me a whole lot, it's because happy birthday, Jesus, kaboom.
Dude. Dude. Yeah, so a bomb went off downtown Nashville. In front of our biggest building, which is the AT&T building.
Yeah.
That has a massive data center underneath.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
On Christmas morning. And it was very creepy because there was a message that was being announced over a loudspeaker before the bomb went off, warning people to evacuate the area.
Yeah.
And conspiracy theories abound.
Yeah.
About this act of domestic terror. The question is, who's the terrorist?
Yeah, who is the culprit? It's like we were talking about before, it doesn't fit any known profile. It doesn't fit because the way it worked is there was a recording of gunfire and that got people calling 911. And then the 911 calls got police coming in. And then 15 minutes before it went off, there was it was an RV. It was an old RV. But 15 minutes before the old RV exploded, the message changed. The audio recording changed to this vehicle is going to explode. Everybody should evacuate. If you can hear this, you need to get away. And so that gave police enough time to evacuate anybody who was nearby, limiting human casualty, human loss of life, and human injury. But it's not enough time for bomb squad or EOD to come out there and defuse. Yeah. And so it's a very sophisticated thing. It's far too sophisticated for Pantifa because Antifa usually you got to use code, but they go for low impact, high visibility violence. Yeah, not a good one. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's what I'm good for.
That's good. That's so good.
And they go for like high visibility, low impact violence. So like. And they all use their cell phones, so it does them no good to wipe out, their own communications network.
Shelby was going for it. That's great. Got that on video.
Yeah, good.
Glad we're live streaming this.
Get on it,
Shelby.
It doesn't fit the profile of most of your run of the mill, religio-fascist terrorism because that goes for maximum splash damage. And this whole thing was very sophisticated, very elaborate.
They wanted to minimize human damage,
minimize human casualties, and just create an information blackout. And here's the thing about SOP for military, you always take out the radio man first.
Very scary.
You take out comms first, and taking out comms is not the objective. That creates the environment that you need in order to do whatever you want to do, because now you're under cover of informational darkness. It creates an information blackout, so an area is isolated. It did knock out 911,
Our 911 lines were down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to text down an emergency number to everyone who lives in this, well, at least in this county. I don't know about other counties.
I think it was some other counties too. And I had heard that it knocked out AT&T as far north as Philadelphia. So I think other reports are putting it as far north as Kentucky, but I think it could possibly be a lot further than that.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm in a Facebook group with a bunch of like-minded men, and one of the guys, and we're all over the country, we're all over the map, and one of the guys is in Pennsylvania, and he said that the AT&T outage extended even up in PA, even up there. And
that's the thing that no one really thinks about, is Nashville really is one of the major hubs for a lot of different things. I met one, I don't remember what year she was, but she was Miss America one year. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. And she told me that her pet project was human sex trafficking, or human trafficking, sex trafficking, stuff like that. And she said that Nashville is one of the hot spots for that because of all the different interstates that intersect.
3 major interstates.
And so
intersect here.
When you think about that, when you think about things like the Clinton Foundation, when you think about things like the Dominion software voting machines, when you think about our feckless Democrat mayor, well,
he's not our mayor.
Well,
we don't live in
Nashville.
Yeah. We live in a town outside that county.
Yeah.
So it's not our mayor, but that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It puts a lot of points on the graph.
He looks like a pear.
No, I know. He's such a soft-handed panda of a human.
Panda, a human being. He is. Oh, he's the worst. Gross, he's the worst, And then, he was being interviewed. I mean, just an hour or two after the explosion.
Yeah.
Then, they were interviewing him. And he was like, "Yeah, well, it's just another day in Nashville. Another day in Nashville. I guess it's because we're so famous. And it's just Nashville. We're not New York. We're not Chicago or Atlanta or LA.
Yeah.
But
they want it to be. See, that's
he did not look disturbed at all. Like it was just another day in Nashville.
Yeah.
It was so disgusting. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a nurse that worked I think at Vanderbilt, one of the hospitals here. And as she was driving to or from work, somebody shot her.
Really?
As she was driving, some thug was just taking pot shots at cars.
Oh yeah.
And shot and killed her. And so a nurse died on the way to work, and he was like very serious coming on the news. This is a very serious crime, and we are dedicated as a city to make sure justice will be served. Justice will prevail. We'll pour all of our resources into figuring this out. We're going to find out who did this.
Bring the hammer down.
But then a bomb explodes on Christmas morning downtown Nashville, a terrorist attack. And he's like, just another day in Nashville. Another day in Nashville. John Cooper, idiot.
I know. Well, it's like, I'm a Nashville native. I'm a Tennessee native, born and raised. Nick, you've been here long enough. Nick's been here almost as long as I've been alive. And the thing is, like, we've watched Nashville over the past 20 years sell its soul to Hollywood.
Yes.
And to Wall Street.
Yes.
And, Hollywood especially has really tried to make Nashville Atlanta Part 2, because they moved into Atlanta probably about 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah,
and they started transforming Atlanta.
Yep.
And now they're trying to move into Nashville and transform Atlanta. We got a lot of celebrities who live here, especially in Leaper's Fork. Leaper's Fork is the weird, like, almost Stepford Wives Hollywood cult enclave.
It really is.
A lot of high-level celebrities.
Really is. There's Nashville.
Yeah.
And then there's Franklin, and we're down here in Spring Hill. So it takes about maybe 30 minutes to get to Nashville, right? So we're 30 minutes south. There's Franklin. That's where a lot of these, big shots are moving. But right next to Franklin, out in the country, where there's lots of land for sale and you get a lot of land for your money.
And it's very Mayberry.
That's Leaper's Fork. Yeah, it's very Mayberry. So it looks like it's a dirt poor country, unincorporated town, but it's just all billionaires.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's a lot like
Franklin. Nothing against billionaires. I'd love to be one, by
Right,
the way.
sure.
I'm not opposed to that, but these are people who are moving in and keeping people out.
Yeah, and making sure the political landscape stays a certain way. Because
Yeah.
like in Franklin, it's really hard to renovate or buy property or have anything in Franklin because the historical society,
Yeah.
which is really good,
Yeah.
but the historical society, there's a lot of money funneled into that, and there's a lot of effort to keep Franklin quaint. To keep
Yeah.
5 Points looking a certain
Yeah.
way. And Leaper's Fork is like that times 5. Like,
And there's nothing there. There's no
Yeah.
historical significance. Not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not really. Not like Franklin where there's big Civil War battle. There's a couple of battles.
Yeah, the battle that broke the South.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Critical, key battle, failure for the Confederacy.
Yeah.
Huge battlefield. Franklin.
Thanks, John Bell Hood.
You drug-addicted, armless moron. No.
Armless cripple.
No. But there were no battles in Leaper's Fork. I mean, there was nothing. It's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's farmland.
Yeah. And that's why they all moved there. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
yeah, it's a bunch of shady stuff going on here. We've been following. Of course, it's only 2 days after Christmas. The past 48 hours, we've been following every
detail
of every theory. But the fact of the matter is, and I told Jonathan this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The AT&T building, we call it the Bat Building because it looks like the silhouette of it looks like the silhouette of Batman's head. It's just crazy.
It's got the ears.
Yeah, if you've ever seen a silhouette of Nashville, you'll know the Bat Building when you see it because it looks like Batman. But that's the AT. It used to be the Bell South Building when it was first built. AT&T bought Bell South. Now it's called the Bat Building or AT&T Building. Yeah, they have a massive data center underneath. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Do it. Say it.
I'm gonna do it.
Go for it.
Here comes the bomb drop.
Off the leash.
I'm going to take another sip of this before I drop the
this
bomb
message
on y'all.
brought to you by Basil Hayden's.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
I hope we don't get sued.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Last week, AT&T won the contract to review Dominion software. Last week.
There you go, baby. Yeah. So
and a bomb goes off by coincidence on Christmas morning.
What a coincidence.
We're 5 days away from the Georgia runoff election to determine who's going to control the Senate.
Yeah. Yep. And it makes you wonder where, because they've already done the USB drive thing. They've already done the ballots in the totes, in the backpacks, and the coolers, and the suitcases. And then they crated, wrapped up, and shipped off the Dominion voting machines.
They did.
All the voting machines. Where do they take them?
I don't know. But they have backups of all that software and all those results. There are backups. There's backups in Germany. There's backups all over the U.S. And one of those backups, those storage backups, is in the AT&T data center underneath the Bat Building, underneath the AT&T building in Nashville.
Well, and what probably could have happened is that is a deep state retaliation against the battle in Germany, the battle in Frankfurt.
Could be.
Because there was a battle.
There was a firefight.
Yeah.
In Frankfurt, Germany. Yeah.
Between deep state controlled CIA security teams.
Yep.
And Patriot led Army Special Forces.
Yep.
And
it was a Delta Force.
It was a
Delta Force incident.
And so they talked about it about a month ago, or maybe 4 weeks ago, about securing the servers. You heard about but what you didn't find out unless you really dug was a fight. There was a firefight. There was a gunfight. Take it.
Foreign soil between American forces.
Yeah.
We're having a civil war in other countries.
Yeah. It's a proxy war in other countries. Yep. Interesting times.
Our apologies to Germany.
Yeah, apologies.
Sorry. Your beer is awesome.
As Goss's.
Your castles are amazing.
Yeah. We like your food.
Your food is
I love your language.
Like your
I love your language.
Well, it's not a romantic language, but it's great.
It depends on how you define
It's great
romance.
if you have kids and you want them to do something.
Yeah. I mean, a girl could yell at me in German and
wash and see dishes.
Yeah. I find German very.
My daughter just turned 9.
9.
So I can say that. 9. Adam says, bratwurst.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Adam, you get it.
Yes.
Listen, Adam, I'll tell you, man. There's that joke about like in hell the French or what is it? The British are the cooks and the German are the police and the French I can't remember what the third one is. But it's like the French do something else.
They bring you your stuff.
Yeah, or they
They're
Adam,
the maitre d', maybe. I don't
Adam
know.
probably knows the full joke.
Maybe
but,
they make the bread. I don't know.
But man, like we
let,
have
let the Jews handle the money.
You're right. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
And let the black man do the music.
yeah. Seriously,
Because they got that damn cold.
Yeah, absolutely.
They clap on the 2 and the 4, not the 1 on 1 and the 3.
Right.
You know,
and they can do it for more than a minute and a half.
Yeah, they can.
You know,
they got
us.
it. They got the beat.
Yeah.
They got the beat. I can't do it.
But man, I'll tell you, Adam, we got a 90-year-old British great aunt, and she's from Liverpool.
Aunt
Or
Audrey.
Blackpool. Excuse me. She's from Blackpool.
Yep.
And Aunt Audrey. And man, my younger brother and I went over to her house or her apartment for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And both times, man, like her cooking is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Well, she's got 90 years of experience.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And she's lived over here for 70 of those years.
Right.
So maybe that had something to do with it. But no, like her British cooking is awesome.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
really good.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Germans and Britons, man. The Brits and the Germans, all about it.
Yeah.
Pretty rad.
Very cool.
So it's been exciting times.
It's very exciting times, and we don't know what's going to happen here, but we're somewhat prepared.
Yeah.
If things do go south.
On the edge of our seat. I am turgid with anticipation.
Oh, by the way, I got my 4 magazines.
Oh,
in the
nice.
mail.
Yeah.
I got my 4. I got
Yeah,
4
good.
extra mags for my battle rifle,
Yeah, good.
and I'm going to load 2 of them fully and keep them stored and ready. I am going to keep 2 of them empty so I can practice.
Oh, yeah. Practice.
Yeah. Quick
reloads.
reload. Yeah, quick reloads. And then I also need to teach my children how to reload those for me.
Yeah.
Because I see myself in that Mel Gibson Patriot situation.
Yeah. Just keep reloading.
Yeah.
Aim small, miss small. Yeah. Speaking of which, Adam, speaking of the Patriot, Britain, and American patriotism, I hope you enjoy. I wore this shirt specifically for you today. Yeah. I love this shirt. I thought you might get a kick out of it. Adam's got a great sense of humor. So,
and the irony of this is I'm ordering one of these as well, and I'm ordering one for a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Greg.
Now we're going to be wearing these shirts proudly as a symbol of defiance against our own government.
Yeah.
Against our own government.
Yeah. Our own CCP controlled totalitarian overlords.
It's crazy. We are living in Orwell's Animal Farm here in the U.S. It's unreal. And
if we're not careful, it'll transition in 1984
very easily. Well, we're already there with the media.
Yeah, that's true.
We're already there with entertainment and media.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
One thing I realized.
I just want to sell books.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
Yeah,
let me just do my thing.
Oh, dude, listen. The dream is to be a mile from the beach in a bungalow with books, your guns, your tobacco, your alcohol, a dog, maybe a girl, and a typewriter, and no internet.
I love it. That's the Hemingwaysian dream. Did I say that right?
I think you nailed it.
Speaking of which, Ernest Hemingway is, one of our favorite authors.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've been to his gravesite in Idaho.
That's right.
I've been to his gravesite in Idaho. It's
you did the etching for me.
I did an etching of the grave.
I still got it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's in a beautiful little, I don't even know, gully between 2 hills. There's this little cemetery.
Yeah.
Technically a graveyard. I think there's a church there.
Really?
And you have to walk way to the back, and it doesn't look any different than any of the other grave memorials, except it's just his name. And there are thousands of little, those little 1-ounce alcohol samplers
that you get like an airplane.
Yeah, it's covered in those. It's covered in pennies. It's covered in little tributes.
Pennies? Why pennies?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't know. But little items, little articles as tribute to him. People just come by and make their pilgrimage and drop them off.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then my mom lives about an hour and a half south of that place.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And she ran into in a bookstore in her town, she ran into a little old lady who's the granddaughter of Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah. I still got that book.
And got a book signed.
Yeah. The Old Man in the Sea.
Was it Old Man in the Sea? And she said this was my mom bought this book, and this lady signed it. And she said, this was my grandfather's favorite story of all the things he wrote. Old Man in the Sea was his favorite. And she signed it.
It's so cool.
And she sent it to me, and I'm like, That's the
It
gift.
was
That's the gift. That's the gift.
That's
This guy
love.
does gifts better
That's
than
love.
anyone. I'm horrible at gifts. And I was like, this is my one chance to nail it. This is perfect.
Yeah. No, he did. Nick totally blew me out of the water,
It's a
man.
cool
That was
gift.
like the coolest thing in the world. Because I mean,
Oh, it was cool for me too. I mean, because I got to, I got to see the gravesite, and I know the old lady she's talking about because I'd seen her lurking about because I grew up there, and I'd seen her lurking at this bookstore.
Really?
She wouldn't talk to anybody, but my mom has a way of getting people to open up.
Your mom is so cool.
Yeah, she is. She's great.
I love
she's
your
great.
mom, man. She's so much fun. I always enjoy seeing her whenever she comes to town.
She's great. She's
great.
That
That Hemingwaysian dream.
Hemingwaysian. That's hard to say.
it can totally happen. You know what? One thing I realized too. Gotta get with the Nashville typewriter guy and get or at least my typewriters first. I'd like to get yours too. But one thing I realized when doing my typewriter one-off is like we talk about our love of the typewriter and everything and how the smack and clatter feels like you're really building something. It's very tactile, very tangible, mechanical. Feels very cool. And this will be the most hipster thing I think I've ever said. But honestly, if dude, strap in.
Hold on, let me prepare myself.
Guzzle up. Yeah. But honestly, if I could figure out how to get rid of my computer and just work off of a typewriter, I would totally do it.
Yeah, just gotta find something to transcribe or
transpose,
transcribe.
Yeah, because the thing about the typewriter, and this is something that anybody who's interested in writing probably should pay attention to. Honestly, is with a laptop, you can set up whatever program you want. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you want, there's nothing stopping you from clicking on Firefox or Chrome at the bottom and just distracting yourself with whatever.
Yeah.
With YouTube and Amazon and how are my sales and what have I got any more reviews and and what's going on in YouTube, what's going on in the news, what's for sale.
And there's so much news right now.
There's a ton of news.
So hard not to look at stuff.
But with the typewriter, I found these past 2 times that I've done it, I have come to the epiphany that like one of the things I love about the typewriter is it laser focuses you on the wire.
Yep.
There's nothing else that you can do, and it feels so just pure. I mean, it's just because there's nothing to distract you. Even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I've taking my typewriter out on the patio and like writing outside.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the cold?
Yeah.
Even when it's cold?
I'll even do it.
You're
when
a beast.
Cold,
I'm a wimp when it comes to cold.
Well, I got more padding, so I got more insulation.
True. True.
But too, like, and you can smoke and drink out there.
Well, my midsection doesn't get cold.
Right. Yeah.
This is nice and cozy.
Yeah. It's my Saint Bernard, keg, my little mini.
All
keg.
of this is cold, but this is nice.
Yeah, this is nice and
toasty.
Yeah. So, speaking of typewriter one-offs,
let's do it.
You want to do it?
Let's see who goes first. Ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh yeah. It's about time.
Yeah.
I think you won the last 3 in a row.
But 2 and 3 for sure. All right. So this is what I wrote originally.
Yeah.
But it got so deeply personal.
Oh, really?
That I was afraid someone might find this YouTube live stream and get the feelings hurt. So I did a different one.
Oh, I can't wait to read.
We'll talk about this at dinner.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but this one's still pretty. I mean, for me,
that's if we ever set up a Patreon.
After I got this junk out of my soul. I was able to actually write something that I'm kind of proud of.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, kind of proud of. Okay,
let's hear it.
And you'll like it. It's a little more your genre.
I've been loving the family stories. I'll be honest with you.
This is not a family story, unfortunately.
Yeah?
It's not a family story, but this was inspired by my recent experiences and love of the game that I play on my phone, World of Pirate Ships.
Oh, dope!
Which is a great game, and there's a whole online community that I'm plugged into. So when no one's looking, I log into this game, and it's awesome. Anyway, it was inspired by that, and my love of Nautica. And old ships and things. Okay, I'll stop. And
Nick's always been cool about that.
I love that stuff. I love that stuff. Okay, here we go. The only difference between fog and cannon smoke is the smell. And at dawn's first light, they hide equally the menacing sloops of our enemy's fleet. All is silence. The order was clear. A cough, hiccup, or sneeze would earn even the best sailor a keel hauling. As we held our breath, aggressively peering into the fog, straining our ears for signs of the enemy's presence, a lone albatross sailed past, garbling as it threaded the spars, ropes, and tackle that dangled between the fore and mainmast. But no heads turned or craned upwards. All eyes were leveled on the fog. The fog and cannon smoke began to clear as our ship, the Spectre, rounded a small island of ice. 3 points abaft our starboard beam, a giant gray Rottingham warship materialized, shrouded in haze lit by dawn's rising sun. We swung the Spectre hard to starboard and swiveled our guns toward our assailant. As the ghost ship bore down on us. We had them dead to rights with a full broadside leveled at their bow. Yet it would take more than one round of cannon volley to finish the work, and we didn't have the time. The ghost ship was too close. I raised my arm to ready my mates to fire, but before giving the order, a voice called out to us from over the icy sea. It was a communication from the Rottingham, a friendly hailing from Captain Marcel of the good ship Slovakia. Cheers of relief and gratitude swept across our deck. My shipmates, rejuvenated by the mounting morale brought by the friendly greeting of an old friend and ally, vigorously took their posts at the guns once again. The Spectre and the Slovakia swept the sea clean that morning, together. The carnage was legendary. The battles fierce. Women swooned, babies cried, and grown men cast themselves on our mercy. We had none.
That's awesome. That is cool.
Thank you.
So what inspired that?
So it's a game that you play. You name your ship. Mine is the Spectre, and I log in, and every once in a while you'll run into a ship that you recognize.
Yeah.
And there's a ship called Marcel Slovakia.
Really?
And he's a member of a Facebook group that was set up for people who are avid nerds about this game, and they invited me to join.
Yeah.
Because I started getting pretty darn good.
Yeah.
At this game. So they're like, hey, you should join our Facebook group. And it's like, these are the coolest guys that I've met. They're just awesome.
Yeah.
And so when I see one of their ships, there's a chat feature in the game. So you can talk back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I was in this battle where I was in this game, this match where there were a lot of really good players.
Yeah.
And the map is like this icy kind of, ocean area with little islands of ice.
Yeah.
So I'm about to get just blown away. I'm doing really well, but there's some other people that are doing well too.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the algorithm just dogpiled a bunch of really good players in the same arena. And I'm about to just get it handed to me. And all of a sudden, I see another player's joined.
Yeah.
And it's Marcel Slovakia from my Facebook group. And I just recently got to know him really well.
Yeah.
And he
like
saved my neck.
Swooping in.
Yes. And I'm like, what if this was like a scene in a movie?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this would be cool. And I didn't even think about that until I put the paper in the typewriter.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, and I just started typing, and I was like, the only difference between, and then all of that just came through my mind.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fog and cannon smoke. Ooh,
that's
yeah.
so genius.
And it just all came out. I'm like, yeah, it's just like playing the game.
There are a lot of really little genius lines like that. In there. That was really good.
Thank you.
You could turn that into like a little mini series thing.
Yeah,
Definitely do more of those.
For people who like Nautica.
Yeah. Nautica's cool. Nautica never goes away.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even when we were little kids, there was Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, and Peter Pan and Hook, and then there's Treasure Island, which Cutthroat Island, which was not that great, but it's still pirates. It's all right, And then Pirates came out, Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's always cool. It never stops being cool. And then Master and Commander, which is like the apotheosis of.
Oh man,
dude, Master and Commander is so freaking good. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Adam.
Yeah. He's commenting on you sitting in the cold weather and
Yeah.
and quite often take narration editing out in the car and sit somewhere and edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to just like
It
get
feels
out of the-
invigorating
when you
doesn't
get
it?
out of the house and you're alone.
Yeah.
You know, on your deck, in the car, maybe in a cafe. There's just something about it. Yeah. You remove yourself from distractions.
Well, that's kind of
I hate
like
to refer to my family as a distraction because I love them and it's fun.
Right.
I love being with them, but
well,
you know how it
seasons
is.
for everything.
You start focusing, and then all of a sudden you have to task switch.
Yeah.
In your brain has to task switch when
Yep.
you're like in the middle of something, and you have to go over here, and then when you have to come back to this, it takes a lot of time to reorient yourself.
It
to get
does.
back into that zone, so
Yeah.
to speak.
It really does.
So
Well,
I
that's
get that.
why that time between like midnight and 5 a.m. or midnight and 6 a.m. are such. Those are prime writing hours.
Well, for you, for me, it's between 4:30 and 7, 4:30 and 8. Those are my prime
AM?
hours. AM.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, AM.
Well, but a part of that is not just that, hardly anybody's awake, hardly anybody's up or out, so it's low stimulus, low distraction. A big part of that really is you don't have to be anywhere else. You're not like, sacrificing spending time doing this or that in order to focus on this. So there's no guilt or anxiety or stress.
Mhm.
It's like you got nowhere else to be.
Mhm.
This thing's waiting for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Inviting you to do it.
The world is asleep. My world is asleep.
Yeah.
And I've just slept. For me, I've just slept. So when I write, my best time is after I've rested.
Yeah.
So after I've slept, I have my best energy, my clearest thinking is in the mornings.
Yeah.
And that's my best time to write. When I've had that, energy reboost, so to speak, and the world hasn't cranked up yet.
Yep.
And started its engine, and I don't have anywhere to be, like you said.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me to do except the one thing that I want to do that can actually that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
That I want to
That can
build something
breathe
up. Yeah.
fire into your life. Adam says the same thing. 10 o'clock and 2200 no 300. Yeah. Dude, look at this though. Did you read the one
What's
above
this?
it? Read that.
One of the best days out I had. My father was visiting Admiral Nelson's ship, the Victory. Oh,
Dude, I know. Yeah.
That's cool.
Man.
That's cool. Did he? So I'm guessing it's like you can tour the ship, like you can go on board the ship. I'm guessing.
How
And
awesome
tour the
would that
Victory.
be?
That is cool. That is well. They had the Constitution, old Ironsides.
Dude.
In Miami, it was docked. Remember when we went to the Bahamas? Dad took us on that Bahama trip.
Yeah.
The cruise thing.
Yeah.
And then I think it was after the cruise in Miami, the Constitution was there, the USS Constitution, which is an old frigate, and we got to tour the Constitution.
I do not remember that. Are there? We gotta find. There's got.
And that's when I was like, okay, I've just spent like 4 days on the ocean on tropical islands, and now I get to do this awesome old sailing ship.
Right.
Like this is
Now
like,
boating is cool.
Now I want to be a pirate.
Right.
I really want to be a pirate.
I sailed. I'm a sailor. Dr. Marvin.
That's when the romance. I was 10. I think I was 10 or 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And that's when the romance began about the sea and
Yeah.
Nautica and old ships and pirates and all that.
Dude.
And now I have a tiki lounge in my garage.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Thanks to my wife, who was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. This sounds
yeah,
fun."
go ahead. Yeah.
And she was right.
And she was right. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Let's see. Oh yes, it completely. It's completely preserved and open to the public as a
That is
museum.
so
Dang,
cool,
that's
dude.
cool.
That is a reason.
Dang,
to go to
that's cool.
England in and of itself. Is it? Where is it, Adam? Is it like in?
Liverpool, London. You think it'd be London?
I would figure.
I don't know though. I wonder.
Dude, I read Nelson's Trafalgar. That's a really good book about the Battle of Trafalgar.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of turned me on to Napoleonic warfare. That was a really, really cool book. And then there's a really great book, Adam. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing, you'll dig it. But there's a really great book. I think I maybe got a copy for you at one time. I can't remember, or at least let you borrow mine. A Sea of Words, and it's like this trade paperback compendium it's a lexicon of all the nautical terms.
Oh, cool.
And in the back, like the back, like 50 pages are pencil sketches or ink sketches of different types of ships. Everything from just a little single mast, almost like a dinghy, all the way up to rated ships of the line.
Nice.
And it shows like all the specs, all the cannons, the crew, the dimensions. It's such a I can't remember who the author is.
Portsmouth Historic Dockyards.
Cool. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's worth going over there just to visit. That's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, A Sea of Words. If you're into that sort of thing and you want like a cool reference book that's just fun to read too. Like I can't remember. It seems like they had some anecdotes in there, some references to like some sea battles and stuff. It's such a cool book. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon.
Cool.
You know, but
well, dude, we got to hear your thing.
Yeah, we got. You're right.
We got to hear your writing
rolling. Okay, let's see. This just came out of nowhere. This was just me sitting at the typewriter, just letting the muse have her way with me. Okay, the dogs were hunting. Trueborn could feel it in his bones. "You're not a man yet," the voice of the shaman echoed in his mind. "You have not been blooded. You have not yet taken a wife." But was his father not 16 when he went on his first hunt? Had he not done those things before the stars whispered his name in the grotto of making? Trueborn knew what the answer would be. Yes, but times are different, they would say. We are diminished and the shadows grow stronger. That is what they always said. There were less campfires on the steppes at night. He had begun counting them at age 9, when he and Strongwalk had climbed up the forbidden overlook to escape the wrath of their fathers. Young princelings playing at war. They had landed in a great deal of trouble for that one, more so than any other mischievous exploit. When you are taller than the spear and can heft the shield, his father had told him, then you may touch it. Until then, it's the sling and shepherd's staff for you, boy. Trueborn did not like being called boy, especially because it was true. His father had the vision. His insight was as sharp as his sword. But that did not alleviate the sting of honesty. If anything, it made it worse. He wanted to make his father proud. He wanted to be useful. He wanted to be a warrior. When the shadow people came, the warriors went to meet them. 29 valiant sons of the steppe rode into the sunset, where strangers danced on the plains. Only 7 returned. Strongwalk was not among them. Many moons passed in silence. The howling had ceased. The dogs always knew. But now the howling had returned. And so, with his aged father's spear lashed to his back and his shield strapped to his arm, Trueborn trotted his horse out into the night, his family's pack of royal hounds bounding before the hooves. The dogs were hunting shadows.
Ooh. Shadow people.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, what would it be
man.
like if there was like a weird like Eastern European tribe of the steppes that was at war with shadow people?
Oh man, that's cool. It's cool. It's almost like the people in 13th Warrior that come down out of the mountains.
Oh, the Vendo.
Yeah.
Is there a fog? Dude, I'll like
The fire verm.
it's a fire verm. It's cavalry. I'd rather prefer a dragon. Yeah, dude, that whole movie, every line in that movie is genius.
Yeah.
As like
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Can we just talk about 13th Warrior for like a half hour?
Sure,
here?
I don't care.
No, it does kind of have a Vendo feel to it. Yeah. Just the idea of there being some sort of like almost primeval, maybe Conan the Barbarian kind of steppes people.
Yeah.
You know, who just have to deal with this mythical thing and like how do you fight shadow people? And there's a bit of like the Terminator in there because the dogs could always sense the Terminators, you know? So you get to pull from weird, dumb things. You know? That's the magic behind, you know. Yeah, Jason knows about shadow people.
Jason's
weird.
on.
Yeah,
man.
Jason's the man. I think John's watching too, but he's not logged into YouTube, so he's creeping. He's ghosting. What's up, John? I was talking to him on the way over.
Was he the creeper last week?
I don't know. He might have been.
I wonder.
I should have asked him.
Someone was creeping last week.
Creeping on our channel? without saying hi, you know.
Yeah.
John is awesome, man. He's so much fun. Him and Jason both. They were super.
Come over
cool.
to someone's house,
Yeah,
just sit in the corner and not say anything.
yeah,
It's my house, damn it.
just sit in the corner and drink. You want to drink my drink? You say hi to my dog.
You acknowledge me when you come into my house. You acknowledge the matter.
Pet my dog. Scratch her ear.
Hey, speaking of my dog, I think she stopped licking herself.
Yeah.
She's not humping anything anymore. Oh, she's sleeping.
Well,
now.
my dog's not here. Her girlfriend's not here.
Right.
You know,
My dog's a lesbian.
Yeah. So I got I guess we'll. God,
Oh, it was Adam's daughter that was creeping last week.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, okay.
That's the cutest
Well,
thing
I
ever.
hope I didn't say anything inappropriate. That's awesome. I'm glad that she was watching. That's really cool. That's really cool. See, it's a show for everyone.
That's right. Well, look, you know, Nick's books are good for kids, so Adam's
I think
daughter
so.
probably would be interested in, you know. So that's in fact, Adam, Nick has a bunch of different. Do you just have the Travelers League YouTube channel, or do you have more than one?
Just the Travelers League YouTube channel.
But there's a bunch of different videos for kids on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah.
Adam, if you're, I can't remember. I think you said your daughter is like 8 or 10.
No, I think she's 12. I think
Oh,
you said
12.
11 or 12.
Okay.
Or 11. She's the same age as my son.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
She might enjoy Nick's stuff, man. It's pretty cool. It's definitely geared towards kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Travelers League.
Yeah.
And there are two kind of series of videos on there. There's Kid Ventures, which is me and my kid doing crazy things together, little segments, challenges, things like that. And then there's writing tips for kids, which I have the 3rd episode, which just came out.
That's awesome.
I just got it done, edited, and everything, and that just came out. So writing tips for kids who want to write, and be authors and writers, and they're just trying to know what are the basic things I need to know to actually create a good story.
Yeah.
You know. And the 3rd one is going to be a 10 video series, and the 3rd one's out now.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's
funny.
Here's the thing: like 2 years ago, Nick wasn't doing any of this crap.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
It's been 3 years
it's 3
now.
years now. Yeah.
3 years.
Nick wasn't doing any of this.
No.
You know, and then all of a sudden, like on a dime, I just wake up one day and he's written a book and published it on Amazon. And you know, here we are like 2 years later, and Mr. Entrepreneur. My marketing manager is so Jamie is. She won't admit. No, she would admit. I hadn't asked her yet. She's guaranteed so jealous that you are not her client.
I can't afford her. I can't afford her.
What, you know?
I don't know. She hasn't
after
emailed me, by
Christmas.
the way. She still hasn't emailed
Oh
me.
yeah.
That's okay.
holiday.
It's all.
That's all right.
I
She's
get it.
local. I can track her
But
down.
I mean, even if she does email me back, it's like I don't have any money.
right.
You know? And
yeah.
she's awesome, and I know she's awesome, but I just can't. You know,
That's all
I have a
right.
limited budget,
Yeah.
but I would love.
It is
I mean,
what it
any
is.
bone she can throw me
Yeah.
to help would be amazing.
Well, and she could justify that by being, relate. It's proxy to me as her client.
Yeah.
With the Gosslings.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, you're learning a lot from her,
Yeah.
and I'm out constant. So what'd she say?
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
Oh, well, she's kind of like mom too. She's like, all right, did you get kicked off Twitter again this week? No, I didn't. It's like getting a good report card. So.
So Adam's daughter's 12. Wanted to see who Daddy was working with. Oh, so Adam's daughter was creeping because she wanted to see who Adam was working with.
Oh,
She
that's
wanted to see who
cool.
Daddy's working
Your
with.
daughter's
Which is really
watching
cool.
out
And
for
she's
you,
12,
Adam.
okay.
That's awesome. Everybody
It's-
needs a kid like that. That's cute.
Steering her that way. Okay, well, you never know. Don't force it. You can guide,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
Jason, do you sit outside with your NVGs hoping to catch shadow people?
He said,
We know.
"Geez,
I know what you're
eat
up to."
Cheetos and watch." I love it. I love it.
There's a
Letter to Mitch.
Yeah, I don't
Letter to
know.
Mitch.
I don't
That's
know
the letter. That's what I wrote last week.
Oh,
Letter to
that's
Mitch
right.
McConnell.
Yeah, letter to Mitch McConnell.
I may be
Yeah.
a dog-faced pony soldier, but I am no liar. Yeah, that was fun.
in Minecraft.
I was just letting it breathe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she likes the Milfax show. She probably likes you.
Cool.
Your voice. He's got a really good voice from back.
Don't you wish you had? Don't you? Because I miss Dad every
Yeah.
day, and it would be awesome to have him reading something.
Yeah.
I would fall asleep to that every night. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. You have something really special.
Yeah, that
that
is
you
really
can, You
cool.
can give your daughter. Adam. That's really cool. You say just on occasion last week, yeah, my IR devices are going to injure SP. What's IR?
Infrared.
Infrared devices are going to injure. What's SP?
SP.
Shadow people.
Oh, shadow. Yeah, they might. That's a good point.
True.
Yeah, they might not react to that frequency well. You might melt them. You know?
You have to switch between that and heat
Yeah.
signature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that and thermal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you kill a shadow person?
I don't know. It's got to be a specific light frequency, right?
It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of Jesus.
A lot of Jesus.
It's a lot of Jesus.
Throw
You know,
Bibles.
yeah. You just. Well, Jason's Catholic, so he's got to throw up the crucifix.
Ah, that's okay.
You know, whatever. Yeah.
Holy water. And
Yeah, holy water. Yeah, get your holy water. Get your super soaker out. You know.
what burns brighter, Bible or a Quran?
You know what? I think a Bible. A
We're
Bible's
gonna
gotta
get
burn
banned for
brighter.
saying that.
Yeah. Well, probably. You know, look, if that's all it takes, then I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So I do. Speaking of like the journals and the writing and everything, and we'll probably wrap up with this, but I had a writing opportunity, crisis and opportunity.
Infrared device.
Oh, his
Fact.
Jane wife refuses to do anything. Yeah, well, she's a pacifist. That's what you get for marrying a Jane. You know, it's a good thing she's sweet.
She tells
Yeah,
me
and
to
smart.
welcome them. No, do not welcome them. Do not listen to your wife, Jason.
Yeah,
This is what one time your wife is wrong. You do not want shadow people in your home.
That's what the dog is for. You know, the dog will get them. Dixie will get them.
All due respect.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
shadow people.
I'd love to get like Jason and like my hunting buddy David Starr
Yeah,
and,
it's cool.
and my security boss buddy over. Like, we are all such dramatic, surly introverts. You can never get us in the same. Like, we'll never leave our house for anything if we don't have to. But if I could get all of us together for a night of
Be
just
awesome.
like barbecue,
I'm not surly.
bonfire.
I'm introverted, but I'm
Yeah,
not surly.
Nick's not.
But I'm
Yeah.
definitely an introvert, and I would love hearing them.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
They're a lot of
I
fun to
love
be around.
meeting them and hearing them talk.
Get John out there.
That'd be cool.
You know, yeah,
Very
John will join us. He's a little bit more well adjusted than the rest of us, you know. So,
That's good.
but no. So I was writing. You know, I'm like toying around with that unabridged edition of Imperium Following.
Yeah.
And I had this chapter called Blood Moon, which is in the main story. There's the good guy, a good guy angel, a general named Ural,
Mhm.
who actually is based a lot off of Dad. A lot
Okay.
of his mannerisms and
Yeah.
how he talks, and just his character and his personality. But he goes up and he fights Mazarel, who's like the second most powerful bad guy. He's like Satan's red right hand man, you know. And he fights Mazarel, who's a monster, in this big duel, and it all happens off screen in the main version, in the original version. And Ural loses. He doesn't die, but he loses the duel. And I thought, well, you know, I'm coming up with these extra chapters. Whatever. Let's just insert this chapter, and we'll show the duel. It'll be fun, and
Yeah.
it'll be creepy and scary, like a horror movie.
Mhm.
You know, because Mazarel is this chimerical dragon thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
huge, and
Yeah, he's my favorite bad guy.
Ah,
Which
dude,
I've
he's-
mentioned that before.
yeah,
That's cool.
he's. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, because he was crafted to be menacing. You know, and so I'm writing that chapter. And I remembered something from the Journal of Althaziel, which is the third part of Triptych Codex, the
Okay.
book that Adam is working on now.
Okay.
Just the fourth book that just got released on Amazon.
Okay.
And in the Journal of Althaziel, around that time, he's assigned to Mazarel's legions under this battalion general named Heinbrand, who is barely more than a name in the Journal of Althaziel. And I remembered that around that time, Heinbrand dies, because he's just, it's not a spoiler. He's just like kind of a nothing character. And so I thought, oh, it'd be cool if, like, okay, how does Ural, what's the justification for Ural losing the duel? You know, I mean, aside from just Mazarel being, you know, a badass, like, how does Ural lose the duel? What if Ural loses the duel because he killed Heinbrand in like a duel right before that? So it's like two boss battles back to back, you know, and maybe he defeats Heinbrand, but it just wears him out. So by the time he gets to Mazarel,
Yeah.
he's out of gas,
Yeah,
you know, because he's older and he's.
It's the Harold II story.
Yeah.
He defeats the Vikings, then he goes to whatever it's called, Bridge, and
Mhm.
takes on the Normans, and gets slaughtered. He saves England from the Nordic horde,
Yeah.
and then it's all for naught because William comes in and
or saves him
him
from the
out.
Viking horde, only to lose to the
right.
Normans.
What did I say? Yeah. So he saves him from the Viking horde, and then goes immediately turns around and marches off to face the Normans under William, and is decimated.
Yeah. So, and ironically, that must have been where I got this idea
Because he needed a nap.
Weird, right? Yeah,
he didn't get a nap.
Well, what's funny is Heinbrand wields a giant war axe,
Okay.
and they both have massive beards.
Okay.
And it's a battle over a river, like the river Affia. So, like the faithful are trying to reclaim the river and all the bridges. So it's very similar in a lot of ways, actually, I guess, to Hastings. But I was like, okay, this would be cool. So I wrote like 3 pages. The first 3 pages of the chapter are you're all effectively winning the duel and killing Heinbrand. But then I got to a place where I was like, oh, you know what? Is Heinbrand a cherub or a seraph? I can't remember. This is always, because you can never remember. And so I opened up Triptych Codex, went to the Journal of Althaziel, did a search for Heinbrand, and was like, we'll see if I mention, what he is so that I can make sure I get it right. Never got my answer. No, but in the process, I found out that I had made a mistake, that I had written myself into a corner for the first time ever. But crisis and opportunity. Heinbrand doesn't die for another 2 months, according to, and this is why I wrote the journals. The journals are meant to be your guide for who's where, when, during the war for the throne, the first war. And so this is exactly what the journals were made for. So I wrote a mistake. I misremembered.
Okay.
Heinbrand doesn't die for another 2 months in a place called Stonebrow Furrow, which is way farther to the north, deep behind enemy lines. In a whole other battle. So, he for sure doesn't. He's not dead. So,
but you can't change that part.
I don't want to change that because that's already published. Okay. So for this, and this is sort of like, if you want to demystify writing for any potential authors out there, writing is, for the most part, it's Legos. Everything has a butterfly effect to where everything ripples. So you have to figure out how to, if you're good, you can contain the ripples. But for the most part, writing is Legos. You can mix and match however you want. You can change the setting. You can go through and make it, instead of the River Affia, you can make it Stonebrow Furrow. Instead of Heinbrand, you can just replace the name with another character. It doesn't really change a whole lot. You might have to tweak some things here. Or you can just highlight, backspace, and start over if you want. But, I work hard for that material, so it's really hard for me to ever delete anything. Or you can stretch yourself. And so I thought about, again, crisis and opportunity. I thought, well, what if I really did die there? What if he did die and then they resurrected him? And resurrection's a real tricky thing in the Heavenly Realms story. You don't want to overuse it, first of all. It's a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
But then there are a couple of times in the series where I do use resurrection in one form or another for the bad guys, but it can be a cheap move. But then I remembered that there is a chapter where Umbra Tempest, employs these hierophants. You remember the white-robed priests from the beginning of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Yes.
You remember when he rides out there and they're all there and they were in the mask?
Yep.
So I basically just cribbed that whole motif for these hierophants, these dark priests of the Phoenix Empyrean, because the Phoenix Empyrean is Lucifer's, that's what he calls his revolution.
Right,
We'll have the Empyrean, it'll rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Right. And they all kind of have their phrase where, they have to make their sacrifice to the Phoenix Empyrean, and from the blood and ashes, they will be remade anew, and so there is this sacrifice reborn sort of motif that's present, and Umbra Tempest actually uses those hierophants to do something to a character later on. Satan even uses that in the same book to transform one of the angels, a failed fallen general named Belphegor, who cost him.
Great name.
Yeah, dude.
That's a great name.
And he's such a crappy character. He cost.
He sounds like one.
Yeah, he's such
Belphegor.
He's such a worm, and he cost them
like an SOB.
He is. He cost them 2 million fallen in the Southlands.
Oh, man.
So his punishment, instead of killing him, Satan used his signet ring.
He's a John Bell Hood.
Yeah, he is. He is the John Bell Hood.
Yeah.
He's totally the John Bell Hood. And he used his signet
That's
ring
called
to
a
turn
throwback.
him
That's
into
called a throwback,
that's right,
by the way.
yeah. And he turns him into this sort of like mutated like Gollum werewolf dogman kind of creature.
Ooh.
Yeah. Old. This goes back to like when I was 19. Because he shows up in the Journal of Althaziel. And so anyway, so those sort of transformations, those resurrections, those transmorphs, that kind of stuff has already been planted there. And so
you built that into the world, so it can happen again if you need to. You're not overusing it.
No, you're not overusing it. It's not coming out of nowhere.
Right.
But it's another way to add a mysterious element to the story. Also, Ural in the duel with Mazarel loses an eye. And so I thought like, and that's always been there because Ural always started out as a one-eyed angel. So it's like, well, how did he lose his eye? But I figured out, you know what? How about we make that the sacrifice? Like, even though they have fiery eyes, it would be interesting if the Hierophants could maybe cut out the fiery portion of the eye and pull it out and use it to resurrect Heimbrand. And then you kind of get everything you need. You get your cake and you eat it too.
Yeah.
You don't have to lose the work you've done.
Yeah.
You don't have to start over. You do something that elevates the work because you stuck it out and you made a problem for yourself accidentally, but that becomes an opportunity to stretch yourself beyond and figure out, how do I figure this problem out besides, oh yeah, thanks, Jason. He's bailing on us. He's like, I don't give a crap about any of this. I'm going to eat. We're leaving too in a minute. Yeah. So anyways, have you ever had anything like that happen in your
I didn't with the Travelers League. I don't think I ever I wrote myself into a corner. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. I wasn't thinking about Travelers League at all while you were writing that, or while you were telling me about that. I've gotten myself into a corner with Henry Halfmoon.
Yeah.
With how he goes back and forth between physical and spiritual.
Oh yeah.
Dimensions.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. There's a part of the story where he gets stuck in the spiritual dimension, and if he doesn't cross back over before the full moon cycle is over, he can only go over there every full moon, and he can only be in the spiritual plane during the full moon. So once it's not full anymore, he has to be back over. He's stuck there till the next full moon.
Right.
So he's stuck there, and when he comes back, how I bring him back, I kind of worked myself into a corner because he had a lot of different portals of entry into the spiritual world, and he's running out of time, and I forgot where I put the portals. So I had to come up with a portal in his apartment, right? And try to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
And then there's another part of the story where he's dead.
Yeah.
So he's permanently in the spiritual world. But when you die, you go to the spiritual plane, and then an angel shows up and tells you whether you're going to heaven or hell. But he's just stuck in the plane, and the angel that shows up is his best friend.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's an angel of death who escorts people either up or down, essentially. Yeah. But he's befriended this angel, and the angel's feeling really conflicted about sending him to hell. And doesn't want to send him to hell. And he basically talks the death angel / best friend into, it's like, look, help me do this one last thing.
Yeah.
Just help me do this one last thing, and I'll prove to you that I'm good enough to, go up. I was told by the gods that I need to do this thing. I failed, but with your help, I can still get it done. It's not too late.
Yeah.
Help me out. So he does that, but the next full moon comes around, and I'm like, it'd be really cool if he could still talk to his mom.
Oh, yeah.
Or still interact with people in the physical world. So I had to come up with a way or a device for that to happen. Anyway.
Well, okay.
Oh, Susie. Hi, Susie.
What's up, kiddo? So what did you do?
So I decided to, how did I do it? Yeah, I basically wrote something in where during the full moon, he's stuck in the spiritual plane, obviously, but during the full moon, he can still step on this seal, this portal, and be visible to the physical realm
Okay.
and audible to the physical realm,
Just not tangible.
but not tangible.
Incorporeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not tangible. And it's only during the full moon. So the story ends with him still being able once a month to call and check in on his mom. He can
so
still
cute.
call his mom. He can still check in on her, make
That's
sure
so
she's
Nick.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, because I love my mom. And if you read Henry Half Moon, you will see I love my mom so much. She's such a
that's
great
funny.
lady.
Yeah.
She's the best. And I wrote that into it. And she has a lot of influence on what he believes and what he does, and who he is as a person, what he, and so I wanted to write all that in there. But it was tricky to write because to do that, I had to be careful not to break any of the rules I had already established
Right.
in the book. So I tried.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of back and forth between this world, this physical plane and the spiritual plane, and trying to write, he has a best friend, obviously Fritz, who he sees and interacts with. But I had to be very careful to go back and make sure that Fritz looks like, in the first part of the book, he looks like a real person, sounds like a real person. Henry's interacting with him,
But he doesn't touch.
but then he discovers that he's just seeing and hearing this apparition.
Yeah.
That later on you discover is someone who's actually an angel of death, firmly planted in the spiritual realm. That is Henry's guardian angel, but also a death angel.
Yeah.
That's
the kind of guardian angel you want.
Yeah, you want a death angel as your guardian angel.
I am a death
sure.
dealer.
Yeah. And it was fun to write that. It was fun to write that. But yeah, Henry goes to the spiritual world. He's commissioned to be basically a demon hunter.
Yeah.
And he teams up with his best friend, who he later discovers is the death angel.
Yeah.
Who has been helping him in the spiritual realm. And they go around and try to stop the coming of the beast, the Antichrist, as they slay and dispatch demons that are congregating at this time in large quantities to get ready for the coming of the beast. So it's cool. I use Greek mythology, I use ancient Babylonian mythology, and then of course
occult,
tons of occult stuff.
Yeah,
but there's logos. It's all logos driven.
Heavy Christianity.
Yeah, it's all logos driven. At the end of the day, logos wins.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Jesus wins at the end.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Suck on that sword, devil. Shuck it long and shuck it hard, Satan.
I miss Sean Connery so much.
I know, right?
Oh,
well, that's a good. I wanted to tell that story and see if you had an instance like that. For anybody whoever was who is interested in writing, there's really no such thing as writing yourself into a corner. I really don't think.
Well, no, so long as you're willing to adjust or rewrite other portions, if you want to keep that.
You have to decide one of two things. Do you want to keep it or do you not want to keep it?
What you can't do is the Deus Machina.
Yeah.
You can't just magically make something happen.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
That resolves everything in the story.
Yeah.
Because that's
you have to plant. And
cheating.
If you're going to do something like that, you got to plant the seeds for it somewhere.
That's what Joe Biden does.
Right.
That's what Joe Biden did.
Yeah.
Joe Biden had a Deus Machina.
Called Dominion
on November 7th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's all BS. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I said it.
Look, you don't have to. The irony is, like, between the two of us, when the camera's not rolling, like, I'm the one you don't want to, like, have around family when it comes to this. Because I'm the one, like, anything that Nick has said, I have said that's 3 times worse.
I don't want to offend anybody, but it's just like, it's just so
shady
looking. It's
obvious.
just so obvious. Absolutely.
So obvious.
Oh, man.
So dumb. No, but, like,
even if it wasn't my guy, even if, like, Joe Biden was totally my guy, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm glad. Let's go with this, but don't peek behind the curtain, please.
Yeah, just let the wizards.
Jeez, and everyone else is like, no, peek behind the curtain. There's some shady stuff going on.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone knows it. Anyway, I'm done.
Well, if you're a writer and you're watching this, you really do have one or two options where you can just bail on your problem and just delete it and start over, or you can figure out a way to work through it.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to work through it, it's worth the exercise more often than not. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And it's just like, okay, I just screwed this up. I gotta, kick that out, But more often than not, if you figure out a workaround to the problem, you come up with something that elevates the work, that stretches you beyond what you thought you were capable of, and it introduces new elements, and it helps make the world more either more concrete, I think is probably the word that I would want to use. It feels realer, because you're adding complexity that works.
Yeah.
And that's, you don't want to add complexity just to add complexity.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just having fun, but it can get a little exhausting for the reader to have something that's overly complex.
Yeah, and that's something that I feared with Hacker Jack. I felt like it was I could have easily overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
Because it's a kid's book, and there's a lot of technical, it's a lot of stuff in it, a lot of character. I had too many characters in it, so the first book.
Yeah.
So I think in the second, which I have scheduled to plot this coming week, is just all plotting for the second book. And for this, I'm going to do fewer characters, and I don't know though if I want to plot it out or pants it, but I don't want to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Because it makes it harder. It makes typos. Those things, my proofreaders will find those things.
Right.
They will point those things out, and it could potentially mean a lot of rewriting, and I don't want to have to do that. Rewriting or creating or coming up with something that adds to the complexity.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that for a kid's book.
Right.
Kids are smart. They're going to get it, and it's complex enough. I just don't want to make it like you said, exhausting for the reader.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you just, simple's okay. Simple's perfectly okay. Like the 13th Warrior. Talk about a simple movie. Like, there's not a lot of complexity to that movie, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it works really, really well. That sounds like people who are probably watching this are like, oh yeah, of course he went to Willow Hall. Yeah, of course he went to the ADHD school. Okay, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That movie? No, watch that movie, man.
Yes,
I mean, there are a lot of
absolutely.
really great simple movies. That it just, you can have something with a handful of characters and a very simple plot that is vastly entertaining, that still has intellectual or logos merit to it.
Yeah.
That's not just empty calorie. Like, you don't have to have 20 different races and 8,000 years of backstory and an appendix, for a functioning world.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a couple pirate ships,
Right.
So
right.
anyways,
Yeah, absolutely.
is there anything you want to promote?
Let's see. I have kids and I are making this coming month in January. We're going to do 2 Kid Ventures episodes.
Okay.
On YouTube. I'm going to have 2 more writing tips for kids videos out.
Cool.
My writing all of January is going to be the second Hacker Jack book. My goal is to have that finished by January 29th.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then I'll have my the Travelers League side story that my daughter wrote is going to be edited. I'm going to have a cover and all of that.
Cute.
And I want to hit publish on that. But I want to have it edited, so published. Yeah, I could probably. I might take a month to promote it, so probably end of February is when I'll actually hit publish on that.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Hacker Jack 2 probably March, right during spring break is usually the best time.
Now, what about sequel to Henry Half Moon?
I got to write that.
But is that a little intimidating?
It's very intimidating.
Yeah,
because I had a couple of starts that went in 2 different directions. And one I wasn't really feeling good about.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's good that you can recognize.
Do what moves the needle.
Yeah.
Because if Henry Half Moon starts getting the attention, that get the following, then I'll plow into a second book. But right now, I'm focusing on so much stuff that's more kid oriented.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought like a month ago, I was like, oh yeah, definitely. I'm writing the second Fringe book. I'm writing, the next book with Henry in the Henry Half Moon world. I don't know. Right now, it's just like I don't if I have time for everything.
Yeah.
And I have to
You
figure
have
out
to
what
budget.
thing I have to do. So for
You don't
January is Hacker Jack for sure.
Good.
That is my. This is my. Well,
Oh, that's
I'll
cool.
show you two things. This is my
Oh yeah.
my goals and my plan for January. I have it all written out. What I'm going to do on a day-by-day basis, including the 25th, which is my birthday.
So if you want to like do something really sweet for Nick for his birthday, leave a review.
Absolutely,
For his books.
absolutely. Please.
It's almost like leaving a review is more important than buying the book.
At this point, yeah.
I mean,
for
yeah.
Hacker Jack, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. And then this is my Facebook/Instagram social media calendar. What I'm going to do
That's cool.
during the week on for January.
It sickens me how organized he is.
Oh, it
You
took me like 3 days to do all that stuff. I
Uh-huh.
just want to know what I'm going to do. I don't want to, because if I don't write it out, I'm just going to be stressed
Yeah.
by
Trying to
the
figure out what
uncertainty and all that. And I don't
Mhm.
want any of that distracting me from actually writing and spending my morning time the way I should be spending my morning time.
Yeah. And Travelers League, Hacker Jack, and Henry Half Moon, all available on Amazon. Travelers League and Hacker Jack are written under Nick Goss.
Nick Goss.
And then Henry Half Moon is written under
pen name
pen
Huck
name.
Warwicks.
Huck Warwick.
Huck Warwicks. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Warwicks. Plural.
With an S.
With an S. Huck Warwicks.
Warwicks. Yep.
And then some of those are available on Audible.
Yep. Henry Half Moon and the first two of Travelers League is another thing I'm doing. I'm getting the rest of the series uploaded to ACX.
Yeah.
This January is my
Cool.
plan. And I'm probably gonna have to have 3 different narrators to do it.
That's awesome.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's all
That's
right.
okay.
And Travelers League YouTube channel. I try to remember to post a link for these, not in the live stream, obviously, but afterwards. Usually within 24 hours, I'll throw up a link for Travelers League. They got some cool, cute videos. It's
Cute.
so.
Thank you. It's fun.
And then the shirt. If you want to be an ungrateful colonial,
I'm ordering one as soon as we get done with this video. By the way,
USAKilts.com, I think.
ordering one for a friend too.
Like $25. So everybody should have one. But cool. Anything else you want to mention?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
My birthday is on the 25th of January.
Oh yeah.
Did I mention that? I'm going to say that again.
Maybe we can get a Union
January.
Jack from Adam. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
All right,
just a birthday post.
Adam, Jason, John, I know
Thank
some
you.
of
And
you guys
Susie.
are watching. And Susie,
thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you.
Very honored.
Thank you.
So I am Jonathan,
And I am Nick.
and we are the Gosslings, and we're out of here.
We're out of here. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Next Sunday.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Adios 2020.
Yeah. See you 2020. We leveled up 2021.
Yes, sir.